It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you're distracting the referee, and the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched to the ring apron, and you realize all the trouble you're in. Now sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, and you go ahead and make your own comeback, knock it off. That's when you should quit wrestling, and you're better off rolling a thumbtacks. Sometimes you go over the top rope, and you bang your head on the ring apron. That's when you, if you dig dope, they're the worst bumps you can be taking. One more. Sometimes you get trapped in a headlock, and you're worried about smearing your lip gloss. You shoot her off and take a shoulder block. Do a leapfrog, give her a hip toss. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Here we go, Bob Squad. I tried to give you all 4 verses without screwing it up. That's as close as we're gonna get. And that's as close as 3 hours of this Monday Night Raw is gonna get. On the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa. Yay. Bob Squad. How the hell are you, crazy cats? By the time most of you hear this, it'll be Groundhog Day. I don't know if they have that overseas. Here in America, every February 20 is February 2nd. Jesus Christ, wasn't even close. Every February 2nd is Groundhog Day. That is a holiday we have where we pretend that we find out if Bill Murray sees a gopher, and if he does, there is 18 more weeks of winter and no more Ghostbuster reunions. Okie dokie. It is the follow-up. The road to WrestleMania has begun. It is the follow-up to the WWE Royal Rumble. God damn it, pal. Son of a bitch. It's good shit. It is the follow-up to the Royal Rumble. This is where the road to WrestleMania really begins, I think. That we've had some historic post-Rumble Raws, and this was also on television. It is the January, give me a second, 31st edition of the Hulu edition. Hulu edition. Limited commercial interruption. Some say not limited enough. With all your favorite television programs, plus original programming such as The Looming Tower, and what the hell is the name of the JFK one? They just gave the date. It's like 11/22/63, I think, starring James Franco, and a bunch of documentaries. Special 90-minute, I'm sorry, I got the giggles today. A special 90-minute action-packed version of WWE Raw. So how about that, huh? Action-packed. They pack it with all the action. What happened on the Hulu edition? What makes Hulu... If you're new to the program, LOL, no one's ever new to the program. My YouTube channel, my goal is to have 500 subscribers, and I'm currently at 601. But at the way I'm going, I think I can easily meet 500. If you're new to the podcast, I review the Hulu edition, and here's what doesn't make Hulu. I'm sometimes fascinated, and apparently was not an interesting enough topic to build a podcast around. Could have told me that a year and a half ago, but who knew? It's interesting to always see what makes Hulu and what doesn't make Hulu. Of the what bits of Raw, about 2/3 of Raw goes into this Hulu edition, and a bunch does not. Traditionally, here's what never makes it. Anything with 24/7 championship that is its own full segment, not just like running in during something else going on and that kind of silliness, but its own actual segment, that's never making it. Any women's issue, usually, any women's issue that is not for the championship, that's never making it. Tag team wrestling, tag team championships almost never make it. We had a good run because one of the tag champions was Randy Orton for a while last year. Then obviously you're going to have a good run of seeing those. But anytime it's been the Street Profits or whoever else, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, you never seen the Hurt Business probably at one point a year or two ago. You're never seeing that. With that said, the first match we see is a non-singles championship women's match. We're going to get there in a moment. But we start off the show with Adam Pearce. No, not the Adam Pearce from Maine. That was a landscaper and a surfer and was my roommate for a little bit in 2007, 2008 in Ocean Beach, San Diego, California. That's just a coincidence that that kid had the same name as this guy. This is a completely different guy. Adam Pearce, the TV general manager, is already in the ring, I think. And he says in Saudi Arabia, that makes everyone feel warm and fuzzy, there's going to be a beheading, there's going to be an elimination chamber. Oh, that sounds even worse. Oh my god, no. Oh, how are they getting around this? There's an elimination chamber match in Saudi Arabia in a couple of weeks, probably. I don't know. And Bobby Lashley's going to be in it and have to defend his newly won championship against 5 guys. Okie dokie. So Bobby talks and MVP yells it's not fair. Brock Lesnar arrives and he's all by his lonesome, and Brock Lesnar is very funny by himself for a few minutes, but then thankfully it didn't go too long where Brock's just going to bury himself. But Brock was amusing and he was talking his shit to Bobby. Nothing really stood out. It was just basically Brock was dressed. They made a point to say his combat gear, not his wrestling trunks or anything. But for Brock to be on regular TV and in his shorts that he wrestles in or whatever, I didn't even notice it honestly until the announcers went. And I went, "Oh yeah, that's right. Where's the flannel? Where's the cowboy hat? Where's the overalls? Where's all the wacky things he's been wearing?" Brock's been trolling us, by the way. Brock's having a little fun. And he challenges Bobby to fight right then and there, of course, and Bobby does not. So Bobby Lashley, that babyface thing he was teetering on, they threw that in the toilet and just reverted him back to like a year ago or 2 years ago, Bobby Lashley. Let me think for a second. What the hell was he doing 2 years ago? I don't remember. But a year ago, last year's February thing is when he, whatever. It was like 2 weeks after that he beat Drew and yada yada yada. So anyway, a year ago they were building him up. Long story short. So yeah, I don't know. Okay. So there's really not going to be a one-on-one Bobby Brock match. Probably not. There's just not a big investment in there, and the one they did was so not about Bobby and Brock. It was about Roman and Brock. So I think that ship has sailed. Who, if anyone, is Bobby's Mania opponent? That I don't know the answer to. I'm gonna speculate. Call me crazy, because I was thinking Bobby. He's been wrestling Seth regularly. There's Seth, there's KO, there's Orton. That's not going to happen. And Riddle and Orton will probably do something with each other. We're out of people. There's no more contenders. And they fire everybody all the time. I think Brock wins this stupid thing in this chamber in Saudi Arabia, and it's just Brock and Roman with the 2 titles. Is really what I think. That's my guess. I'll predict it right now. Whatever, who cares? Anyway, but that was fun, and we're seeing Brock on a regular basis. I would not get married to that, and I'm a bit surprised at it. But Vince is throwing money at him. Gotta be. Because to see Brock is doing all these Raws and SmackDowns, like, what, are you crazy? How's this happening? And he's talking too, which he hates doing. Brock is doing all this shit he hates and traveling. He's done a bunch of Saudi Arabias. He's usually at one of those, because I'm sure the payday is absurd for him. So anyway, the first match of the evening, Rhea Ripley finally gets her match with Nikki ASH, and we put this thing to bed. Of course there's a break in the middle, so it's a 2-segment match. Rhea Ripley does defeat Nikki in the middle with her finish. Very good. Not my favorite Rhea Ripley. Actually, yeah, it was not one of my favorite Rhea Ripley's matches. She looks like $1 million, and I just thought there was not as opponents. There wasn't a great chemistry here. It is. I mean, I was a big Nikki Cross fan, and I wonder if she could use that again, because the carrying Cross guy is now not there. I don't know the answer, but it was just really hard for me to buy much of Nikki's offense on Rhea. I kind of felt like this should be a 3-minute Rhea hit your big moves. I hate overusing wrestling words now like squash because now they're so. The kayfabe words became so overused by smart fans that they don't mean anything anymore. Because I guarantee you, wrestlers in WWE locker room don't sit around talking about heels and faces and angles and stuff, and whatever. Now it's just this is weird language that's just been adopted by annoying fans. But anyway, but with that said, Rhea, I think over Nikki real fast. If we're going somewhere with Rhea, make her dominant. Then I knew from the beginning. Once I was happy they were having this match, and I was confident Rhea was winning. But I kind of rolled my eyes, going, "This is going to be a 50-50 match. This is not going to do anything for anybody." Because I don't know where the hell you go with Nikki, and if we want Rhea to be strong, I was hoping for Becky, but who knows? I don't think that maybe that's not happening soon. I'm keeping Rhea busy, I guess. There's an Irish guy, and he's talking to Chad Gable and Riddle, who are on scooters backstage. I am not kidding. As the second part of the challenge between these two tag teams, Riddle and Gable will have a scooter race. Not a wrestling match. They're going to have a scooter race. They're going to try to race their scooters around the arena, quote, 50 laps. You gotta be kidding me. No one believes they're doing 50 laps. See, I believe they're doing 1 or 2 or 3 big laps or whatever the hell, or from here to there or whatever. It's like Vince McMahon's $100 million egg. We can believe 1, maybe even 10 million, grossly overpaid for this gaudy, stupid pile of crap. 100 million is kind of like, okay, now no one believes it. I can't even try to pretend that that's real. 1 million would have been fine for the egg. A couple of laps with 50 laps. Because later we see them at the end and they ain't sweating. And we'll get there in a minute. We have a teaser for Alexa Bliss who's going to talk to Lily the doll later on. Or does she actually talk to her here? I don't think so. Yeah, they put it towards the end. Alexa's not going that early. Might as well. She's doing week 4 or 5 of however many of these stupid things they pre-taped that don't go anywhere. So, what happens here? Oh, Riddle is on a scooter and he accidentally runs into Omos in the scooter. Like literally runs into him. Doesn't just happen. Excuse me. Doesn't just happen by him. I need water. I had some chicken in my throat. Thank you. Riddle crashes into Omos on his scooter and tells Omos he has beautiful eyes, and then he scoots away. What happened there? I don't understand. This next segment looks like shit on paper and ended up being a lot of fun, which is good. Kevin Owens has his talk show. He invites Seth Rollins. Before Kevin Owens invites Seth Rollins, he does this thing he's been doing for a month or so now, maybe even longer. He's actually kind of always done it, but now it's really blatant. Owens delivers everything he says as he's openly, low-key, but openly making fun of the program. And normally, if there's anyone else that'd say, well, it's a bit unprofessional, it's a bit fourth wall breaking, what the hell are you doing? But he does it so well, and the show has gotten so stupid that it's welcome at this point. I'm like, yeah, I don't even care about the fourth wall and kayfabe. Flush it down the toilet. I'm bored. Someone entertain me. And Kevin Owens does. I'm like, okay, cool. So he's making fun of the word stupendous, because I guess that's Vince McMahon's buzzword. That's the rumor, that he loves the word stupendous, and he wants the word stupendous to be associated with this year's WrestleMania. I'm not kidding. Because we don't number them anymore. I think it was WrestleMania, the one in 2015, which would be 31. I think we just lovingly called it WrestleMania Play Button. Oh, that was it. Was it Cousin Luke? Was that you who called it that? Somebody called it that. Maybe it was the internet. I don't remember now, but it wasn't me. But yeah, they all had simple name. Like I think 2 WrestleManias in a row had pirate themes for no reason in particular. The last 2 years. This is WrestleMania Stupendous because there's no human way you can make fun of the word stupendous. So back to the stupidity. Kevin Owens is very entertaining. He brings out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is banged up. He's not selling the Roman injury. He could sell it a little more, but he did acknowledge he was hurting and not moving good. And actually, you know what? Yeah, now that I rethink it, he had trouble sitting down, standing up. Well, I'll leave it. We'll leave it. That's fine. He sold it. If he had wrestled on this show, him wrestling alone, considering how he was left in a pulp, and no officials tended to him at all, we just faded into a video package. I already ranted and raved about that. If he wrestled at all on this show, he would be no selling that beating. Even if he's bandaged up, I don't care. It was just too much. It might have been too much that he was on this at all, but then again, he's a top guy. He can talk, and usually he'll talk and wrestle and fill a lot of time. So, and he gets a reaction. Owens had them singing along with Seth's song and blah 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 blah. It ain't Seth's first rodeo, so I mean he's an MVP player. You want him there. Kevin Owens lets it be known that he is about to wrestle Austin Theory as a qualifying match to be in that chamber thing with Brock and Bobby in Saudi Arabia. Now, right away, if you follow this stuff, and I'm sorry, you know Kevin Owens is losing this match the second he says that, because Owens is one of the people, along with Sami Zayn, and I think at the time Aleister Black and Bryan Danielson, who refused to go to Saudi Arabia. So, you know Owens isn't going to win because he's not going to Saudi Arabia. And Owens wrestles Austin Theory, and I hate that obviously Austin Theory wins. This is third week in a row. Theory just wrestled Kevin Owens. The week before was AJ. The week before was Finn Balor. So Theory's going through everyone. I wouldn't be surprised to see Theory and Seth in the near future. And of course there's always Riddle, there's Orton. Actually not many other guys. I'm thinking of baby faces he could wrestle. And I put Seth in there anyway just for the hell of it. Probably Ray and then Dominic. You can do one of those week to week, I guess. There's two more. That'll keep him busy. But anyway, there was one sick maneuver. They're on the outside of the ring, and Theory whips Owens back and head first into the steps, but not on the flat part, on the actual step part of the stairs. And it looks like, Owen clearly whacks most of his back on these jagged-edged metal steps, and it looks like he hit the back of his skull. I don't think he did, because he would have been busted open. His brains would have been on the steps, but man, it looked like he did. But there would have been a very visible, gross injury had he done that. I don't know whose idea that was, but Owens does beat his body up pretty good voluntarily. And I really doubt that Austin Theory or anyone, especially in this company, would just give that. I hate calling it a bump because it's not a bump, but you'll use it. This is not AEW. This is not garbage championship wrestling. No one in WWE would just give that move to someone just because. So that's got to be Owens. Now that I'm just talking it out and thinking about it. An example of the camera work in WWE that everyone hates. We all hate the shaky camera during punches. We all hate the half a second camera angle changes, like twice in the middle of every big move. It's just a little too much. They found a new one that I didn't even think of until I saw it, and it smacked me in the face with its virtual wiener. My God. Owens hits a big second rope move. It's kind of superplex thing, but Owens is the one facing inward, whatever. Hits a big second rope, big ass bump on Austin Theory. Now in this day and age, nobody wins with anything but their finish or a roll up, so we know it's not the finish, but it's a good. This is going to be a good 2 7/8, like holy shit type of thing. Now Austin is rolled near the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. We know he's putting his foot on the rope. God damn it, obviously. If you've watched wrestling once before, Austin Theory, rather than kick out of that huge bump, is going to put his foot on the rope. That's good wrestling. It makes sense. It gives more value. It gives value to that bump. Whereas the bump would have no value if he just kicked out of it. And bumps hurt. And you have so many bumps on your bump card in life, so they all should mean something when you do them. I could go on about that, but whatever. So we know Austin's going to put his foot on the rope. He does, But the camera, the angle, the foot, and the part of the rope that the foot will go on is directly in the middle of the TV screen. You cannot make it more obvious. Hey, here comes the foot on the rope. Do you see it? Yes. Why wouldn't the camera be on Owens trying to pin Austin Theory to win the match? Why do you have to spell it out? Because, and again, I've been in the live arenas. I know how dumb these people are, but it's kind of like when someone's about to get attacked from behind, they're waiting on their opponent to enter because the music's playing. You know they're getting attacked from their opponent running in from the crowd because they have the most absurd zoom in on just the wrestler's face, which is a camera shot they only use for that occasion. So you know they're getting attacked out of nowhere. And you could hear the slow roar. The announcers don't notice it. Of course they do, but they don't. You can hear the slow roar of the people seeing so-and-so run in for the attack. So everyone knows but the announcers, and everyone feels like a dumbass for being involved. This was a bad example. Theory does the thing. Jesus. One of them is named Austin. The other one's using Austin's finish. Jesus Christ. Owens is stepping through the ring ropes off the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Theory does the thing where he kicks the middle rope. It goes into Owens' groin, but it's not really a DQ. I don't even know if the ref saw it or pretended to see it or whatever, because he didn't kick him in the groin. But the low blow distraction allows Theory to pick him up in some kind of face buster off your knee thingy. 1, 2, 3, Theory wins. Theory goes to Saudi Arabia. Congratulations, you win? Ugh. Okay. Did I get through that rant? I'm going long here, sorry. An Irish guy is talking to R-Truth, and they are waiting at the finish line for the inevitable scooter race winner. That is still going on. I don't know if this is better as an ongoing thread throughout the show, or not, or if it should have been all one and done. Whatever. There's a finish line taped on the mat outside the ring. Riddle's about to cross, and Otis, the tag partner of Gable, runs out of nowhere. He's enormous. I don't know how people missed him sneaking around, and he bulldozes through Riddle. So then Gable gets up because he had fallen off his scooter, and he's wearing a silly athletic, like bicyclist leotard and outfit. It was entertaining, at least. And Gable has been good in the last few weeks with these things. And of course, Gable wins the thing. And then Riddle says they cheated, and he gets mad, and he offers to wrestle Otis. And so this way we can just get more segments out of it. We have Riddle versus Otis. Now this was funny here, because I don't think it was a big secret. I saw this going around, that this is one of those written at the last minute shows. And this is where it was most obvious. Because right before Riddle and Otis lock up, Adam Pearce, my old roommate, Adam Pearce shows up and says, "Oh, by the way, this is a qualifying elimination Saudi. Okay, goodbye." And then now we know that. Fun back and forth with these two. I mean, it is hard when Riddle and Orton feud with a tag team, because it's every variation of that matchup for weeks and weeks. But anyway, Riddle and Otis was pretty good as well. And Riddle wins the thing with a roll-up. Not a roll-up. He hits his floaty Scooby-Dooby triple Lindy off the thing and hits Otis with it. 1, 2, 3. Riddle is going to Saudi Arabia as well. So it'll be Riddle, Theory, Bobby, Brock, Seth. I think Seth's automatically in it. Or is he? I don't know. Bunch of people in it. Okay, Alexa Bliss has one of her pre-tape segments from whenever ago. It is the same interview. I'm not going to complain about the existence of these. That's been done to death. But they get nowhere. It's not advancing whatever it is they're making us endure. It's the same back and forth every week. Like, none of them feel different. I couldn't tell you the difference between, like, the first one and the fourth one. I don't. It's all the same. Well, the first one, Alexa broke shit. And then the second, third, and fourth, she didn't. We're still on that. Anyway, the fake doctor guy has a replica Lily doll, and this made me LOL. The doctor said, "This is not the real Lily. This is a replica I bought on WWEshop.com. He might as well have looked at the camera, and I think I hope they had him just say all that as a wink, and not seriously think we were that easily brainwashed by their their plug there. I think it was more of a, we know, haha, this is where you can buy this. We know that you know. I'm hoping they were doing that. That's how it felt. I'll give them the benefit here. And Alexa hugs the replica of Lily, and she's all emotional, and then that's the end of that. How many more of the... Because where is it going? This is the most shocking direction they can take this. Because we're all expecting, okay, when does Alexa freak out? When does she murder the doctor? How the hell does this end? How do these segments end? I don't know. Where is this office? And why is it being filmed? It's a HIPAA violation. None of this makes a goddamn lick of sense, but with the Alexa segment, she's in her own universe inside the universe, so we just kind of let it go now, I guess, because we've given up. Here's the most shocking place I think they can take it, and they won't do it, because no one has I'm patting myself on the back here, no one has the balls or the creativity to do this. The most unexpected direction that this can take, the therapy works, and she's okay. She just gets better. And we move on. No one sees that coming. No one will see that coming. We're waiting for the disaster here. The Irish guy is back. He's been very busy. I don't know what the blonde lady was doing, but the Irish guy's all over the place. He talks to Alpha Academy, and Gable does that shoosh thing. He tells everyone shoosh, and yada yada yada. And he says next week, because they won the scooter thing today, he challenges RK Bro to a quiz bowl. I guess they just answer a bunch of questions. So that'll be a long segment hosted by the Irish guy, maybe, or maybe the blonde lady will get a turn. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get the third of these three things. The spelling bee was first if you needed to know, if you needed a reminder, or you blocked it out. AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. AJ's a good guy again, which is perfectly fine. We just never really explained how or why. AJ and Rey have a great match. Now, this is a match that should be back and forth 50-50, and it'll be better, because you don't want to see one guy dominate the other. That's just no fun. I know, unless they're doing an angle or maybe someone got hurt, blah, blah. No, but this should have been a good back and forth match, and it was a great back and forth match. Easily the best match of the night. Notice they only went out of the ring twice, and both those two spots were related to each other. No one did a dive. And when they did leave the ring twice, they weren't out for that long. And it looked like AJ and Rey were trying to beat each other, and people were into it, and AJ did beat him. I forget exactly how. I think he just hit the Styles Clash. I think. Yeah, I don't think he did the forearm. Now, I hope I'm right. I don't know. AJ won. AJ goes to Saudi Arabia. Okay, it's AJ, Theory, Riddle, Bobby, Brock, and I still think it's Seth. I don't know. No one knows anymore. Wouldn't Seth be in a rematch with Roman or something? Maybe it's somebody else. Who the hell else could it be? It doesn't matter. None of it matters, Bob. And my voice is going. Sorry. Oh. Okay, we're at our main final this is over soon segment. Ronda Rousey. Ronda, talk from your diaphragm. You have a microphone and we can't hear you. It reminds me of my podcast. Come on. Jesus. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, she's reciting whatever they wrote for her, and please, I mean, before someone says, oh, they write all dumb garbage, Rhonda delivered it. It was basic dumb garbage, because what else is she going to remember? And Rhonda delivered it like she didn't care. And quickly, I can't call it nostalgia, because it was only 2 years ago. 3 years ago? Was it? Yeah. But just, she's just her, and we're just supposed to care. That's the thing. They're just telling us you're supposed to care, and we don't. Becky Lynch comes out. Becky kicks Ronda's ass on the mic as Ronda would kick Becky's ass in a real fight. Both are that lopsided. Becky's very entertaining. She's a lot of fun. Clearly she got her bullet points, but she's just being Becky. she's saving this. And her and Ronda said nothing too impressive to each other. But Ronda took Becky's arm and kind of gave her a little judo throw and acted like she was going to break it. Becky was scared. And Ronda, instead of Becky saying, "Hey, why don't you tell everyone right now who you're gonna pick to fight at WrestleMania?" Because you won the Rumble. Ronda says, "You'll find my answer. You'll know my answer Friday on SmackDown." Well, are we supposed to be cheering her? Because everyone in that building and watching at home was like, "Tell us now." So why would she do that? But yet do that to the heel, but then heel on the fuck. Oh god. Speaking of heels doing shit they don't do. Instead of that was Ronda's a babyface doing something you don't do. Her grabbing Becky's arm and giving her the move, but not breaking her, just letting her know I'm in charge and don't mess with me. That was great. Except Ronda, to quote a great author, Ronda has the flash and sizzle of a UPS truck. She's a great UFC fighter. It's not a great pro wrestler. It's not the same thing. Anyway, thankfully there was, you can see on Hulu, there's 3.5 minutes left of the show, so I'm like, well, okay. When there's a minute left, they usually have persons just celebrating, but Ronda goes away, and Lita's music immediately hits. The place went bananas. Totally banana. They went banana. And everyone's happy to see Lita, and she was, I liked seeing her here more than I did the Rumble, because I hate to say it, but like, when a 45-year-old woman comes out dressed like a teenager to wrestle, it looks kind of silly. And Lita's still all leadered up, but she's in plain clothes, and it's not as odd. But it's like when Hulk Hogan was wearing jorts, like a couple of years ago, whatever the hell it was. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so Becky's very amusing with Lita. Lita isn't quite as great as Becky on the mic, but she's still she was natural and likable, and you could hear her. Okay, so that was nice. Definitely night and day from Ronda. So, and Lita got to the point pretty quick. Hey, I think she kissed Becky's ass, and Becky the heel was falling for it. Lita's telling her, "You're wonderful. You're a fighting champion." "Oh, you're right, I am." And then Becky was so perfect here. And then when Becky stops and says, "Oh, wait, what are you getting at?" And then she does the math, and Lita says, I challenge you to a Saudi Arabia match, whatever. And this was odd, but I guess there's no other way out of it. Becky, the heel, just accepts. She stops, she thinks, and she goes, "Yeah, okay." And Lita left. And there we go. That was that. So Saudi Arabia has a big chamber, and it has Becky and Lita. Again, I don't remember if Seth was in that goofy Elimination Chamber match or not, because in my head I think they got to do the Seth Roman rematch, which of course Seth doesn't win that either. We're killing time to Mania, but Roman always does the Saudi Arabias too. So unless they have somebody else, I couldn't tell you. But that was Raw. This was the best Monday Night Raw of 2022. Don't celebrate. Don't celebrate. That is not a bragging point. But to backtrack a bit, watching Owens go backwards into the edges of those metal steps, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that was the first time someone would actually be safer if they bumped on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.